Welcome to Bump, the most candid, open and brutally honest show about motherhood, fatherhood and babies. Brought to you by my expert midwife, Bubble and Cyber Jammies. I'm really happy because I'm here with my friends. Yay! G and Izzy. Oh, as we like to be known, the McWags. The McWags. So, my fellow mummies, obviously I'm a fairly new mum.
And smashing it.
I don't know, you don't see me on a day-to-day basis. Thanks guys, thanks. And I have one, you have two,
Yes.
Lola and Kate, and you have three now.
Oh.
Madness! I don't know how you girls do it. When I had Cooper, honestly, as soon as he came out, my instant reaction was, I don't ever want to have another child.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the labour or because?
Because it really hurt. And I think I kind of expected it to be really strong period pains, and it really wasn't that. And so obviously the change from having, so you both done this, having one to two. Now, like I said before, I couldn't imagine having another one. Now I'm kind of a bit more like, okay. Now me and Danny have got into the swing of things, because as well, Danny kind of put me off having another one as well.
Why?
Only because I think he was so shocked at of the severity of like having to look after a child. Like it was serious. Like we had a human to keep alive, and I think it maybe shocked him a bit. He almost like changed a little bit, but I think it was a lot to do with stresses that he had going on, you know, outside of that. So that put me off. That worried me. It made me think, God, if this is like our relationship when we have one baby, what's it going to be like if we have two? But obviously now he's a lot happier and like, you know, we know what we're doing a bit more.
As Cooper gets older as well, his bond with Cooper will just grow and grow
Which
and grow,
has
and he'll be
happened.
more involved.
Yeah.
And
I think that's it. Like I think Danny's never not been able to fix things. And then he had Cooper and he couldn't fix him. He couldn't stop him from crying and he couldn't feed him and he couldn't, you know, do a great deal. How was that difference between having one to having two?
For me, I look back at me having one and how stressed I was and how worried I was about every single thing. And I think, what were you worried about?
Yeah, so when you have your second one, you think
yeah, and now I'm like, geez, you had all the time in the world to do everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think first time around, I was so worried about doing everything right. I'd read Gina Ford. Don't bother reading Gina Ford. Just don't bother.
Don't do it. I haven't. Don't read anyway.
And I'd, you know, taken advice from everyone, and I wanted to do everything that anyone had ever said to me because everyone else knew better. And it meant that I was second guessing every single thing I was trying to do.
Because you were thinking, this is right, this feels right, but this isn't what I've read.
No, yeah,
this
I can't do this because Joan down the road said
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'm making a rod, and if I make a rod, that's terrible, isn't
Yeah.
it? So I think I was listening to too many people, and it's only when I kind of relaxed and actually did my way.
Your thing.
Yeah, that it became a lot easier. So second time round, because of that, it was a lot easier for me, I think, because I'd had that experience with Buzz.
Yeah.
I kind of, even though Buddy is a completely different child and likes completely different things, you kind of have more belief in your own methods, I guess.
I suppose you know all the simple things that seem so confusing.
Like changing a nappy,
Like
bathing a child.
Sterilising a bottle.
Yeah.
I had a breakdown with Danny and I was like, there are so many instructions to everything and it's all so confusing and I don't understand how to use any of this equipment that I've got.
That's the thing, isn't it? As a new mum, you get all this stuff,
yeah.
and then you probably you don't really unbox it all
it's
until
so
the same
true.
time, and you're just like, oh my god.
It's overwhelming, isn't it?
But for me, I feel like third time round, in some way, I am mothering slower. Because I expect this is going to be my last baby, I think. You never say never, you never know.
Don't jinx yourself, G.
Yeah, I could fall pregnant with twins, you just never know.
You might.
So I know it goes really fast, and I know life takes over and it can mean that you're not as present as you would like to be. So I am kind of trying to just take it all in.
Yeah,
Basically,
and
and not
enjoy.
get stressed. And what's really nice actually about this maternity leave, doesn't exist,
Yeah.
is the fact that when I'm putting the kids to bed at night, I'm not stressed about them going to sleep because I've got to go downstairs and I've got to write and I've got to do all this stuff. I'm just there in a really calm way, and they're calmer as a result of that. Oh, I still get
But
shouty mum. I still turn into shouty
good.
mum every now
I'm
and then.
shouty mum already, and Cooper's only 9 months. Like, no.
There's
He
something
started fighting.
they like to push your buttons, and I'm sure there are loads of studies about it. I'm sure about we provide them a safe home, and that is where they can learn. They learn how
But then
to do
where I
things.
find it difficult is that, so I will say, no kit, right? And Lola can't say K's, so she says tit. So I'll go, no kit, and she'll go, no tit, like that. Right. Which is quite funny.
How do you keep a straight face?
No, I know, this is the problem. But the thing I find difficult is that Lola is just a sponge at the moment, so she just picks up everything. So she'll then say to Kit, if they're playing, no tit, which they should, and I'll then be like, no, don't speak to your brother like that, but I'm speaking to him like that.
But isn't that interesting though? Because they kind of show us how we behave.
Exactly.
And they kind of alter what we do then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, oh, okay, actually, I don't like you saying that because that's obviously how I sound. Let's change the tactic a little bit.
Do you feel like you bond more with one child in particular?
No.
Do you know what? When I had Kit, I didn't know how I would feel with a boy because obviously I'd only had a girl.
That freaked me out this time around if I'd had a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is something about having a little boy.
Yeah.
Oh, and even though he's, like you were talking about Buddy's character, Kit is so sunshine or showers.
Yeah.
He's so one or the other. But he just is so affectionate and so wants mummy, whereas Lola's always been a little bit more independent.
Yeah.
And she's got her own little thing going with Harry.
Because I worry about that. Like, I worry about having another one and, like, loving it as much.
Your heart grows.
It just grows.
It grows with each child.
And is going on to another baby. Would you have another one?
So then I had Kit. No. It's a difficult one, that, because obviously I've spoken really openly about our struggle to have a family. And, I feel so lucky to have the two. And, there were days when I didn't know if I'd have one. So to have two has just been
phenomenal.
Amazing. And, Kit came along as a complete surprise.
It was, wasn't it? I remember you telling me. I couldn't believe it.
I mean, we knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
But we weren't expecting
Did you?
to. Yeah.
I was so confused with what was happening. What's the result?
But obviously Lola was, as you know, she was a frozen embryo from IVF, and Kit was natural. And we have one more frozen embryo. And
Where is that little embryo?
Yeah, so I actually went back the other day.
Did you?
Because I'm starting a little podcast about fertility. Thanks. And
A little podcast.
Yeah, little podcast. And I'm going back to talk to the clinic about it all. And I said, I've always wanted to know where this embryo is. And she said, oh, I can show you. So I always sort of pictured it being in like a
filing cabinet fridge.
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly.
I mean, I put the words into your mouth there. That's just what I was thinking.
Exactly it. And it's not. It's like in a little kind of round cylinder, kind of quite low to the floor, and there's locks and codes and everything else. And then they open the lid, and it's like this kind of dry ice. Obviously, comes out.
Oh, like on the films.
Yeah. And then, there's a load of them in there, in the tubes, and there was just Judd and the number on it.
Can you remember what number it is?
I can't remember, and I wasn't obviously allowed to take photos because our little one is surrounded by other little ones.
Oh.
And but I was like, just put it back now.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Put it back, and because you feel so.
Do you feel connected to that little embryo?
I do sometimes just have a feeling that someone is missing. So after we had Lola, we agreed that I would do the night, but that he would get up in the morning, and then I would
that worked really well, didn't it?
So I would literally go over to him in the night, pop on his sleep mask, I put on his earplugs.
You're such a spoiled child, Judd.
So is Danny.
No, but I was like, I want you to sleep so that in the morning I can go, off you go.
Yes, see ya.
So I could actually catch up on some sleep, and it was quite nice. Yeah. And it was also my way of, I suppose, feeling like I was
still looking
after him a little bit. And he would cook me dinner, and we were real teamwork.
Yeah.
Second time, No, we're both getting up, we're both doing everything.
Well, yeah,
This
because
is
you've got two.
Yeah, and so it was totally different.
I think that's when it'll hit home to Danny, when he's got to like watch the other kid, be with the other child. Because right now I do a lot more than he does, definitely. Yeah, 1,000,000%. Because so I'll get up in the middle of the night. I have to ask him, because Danny went to me the other day. Do you know why you feel like you're always tired? It's because you have that blue screen of the baby monitor in your face every night. And I went, well, here's a thought. Why don't we put it on your side of the bed so that you can have it in your face instead? And
Or have another one and don't have a monitor.
Yeah. But it's got to the point now where I get up with Cooper and I'll just take him into the room and just actually sit him on Danny, then walk out. So he has absolutely no choice other than to wake up and hold him.
There's nothing quite like that feeling of that resentment when you're getting up in the night and they're just snoring next to you. And I'm sure most people have this, where in the morning you're like, oh, that was really hard. And they're like, yeah, I know.
Oh, no, I know.
Like, do you?
Yeah.
I was up the whole night.
Or they'll go,
because you were snoring.
You were 100% snoring. You weren't awake.
That is my baby.
Harry would...
Tom's put the monitor on in here. And then left him.
Oh my God! That couldn't have been any more perfectly timed.
Should I go tell Tom?
Tom, your baby's crying.
1 sec.
If Danny's had Cooper for like a day, for instance, when I come back, I feel like I have to do more than I would normally do because Danny's looked after Cooper, when actually Danny's just the dad. Oh, he's crying.
But also,
Dad quit me, the bottle.
But it's quite interesting because if I come back from working, I'm straight back into mum mode.
Yeah,
If
same.
Harry comes back from work, he's like, oh, I'm so tired.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just going to go and put my feet up. I'll be down after bath time and I'll be ready to help. But mums, we come in and it's like...
We have to go back straight back into it.
But also I think it's instinctive as well. It's just, that's what we're... I don't know, instinctively.
It's kind of what we're made for.
Want to feed.
Have you got a cave woman's theory on that?
I've got no theory on that. I could probably make one up. Probably the others are made up, to be honest.
No,
I was
think
told by a
that's right.
12-year-old once that Nutella was going kaput because the hazelnuts there was a shortage. Told everyone. Did it happen? No. Stupid 12-year-old. Give me the wrong fact.
You believed a 12-year-old.
I was like, Georgia, I love Nutella.
I know you do.
It's a big deal in my life.
It really is a big deal. I bet you were like, I need to stockpile. I
was.
bet you've got a cupboard in there, haven't you, just full of Nutella, just in case. I wanted to ask you girls whether you have any piece of advice for me and my lovely followers about being a mummy. Advice on being a mummy. What would be your one tip?
Do you. Don't
you.
worry about what anyone else is doing or showing you on social media. It's probably a lie. Or it's not a lie. It's not a lie. It's taken from a good moment.
Yeah.
And we all capture. I think it'd be quite mean if we were all going around taking photos of our children mid-meltdown. It happens. Yeah. Sometimes it's just so ridiculous. You have to go, I'm going to take a photo of this for your 18th. Yeah. But, you can't compare yourself to what you see online because that's not the full picture.
It's glossy.
And you can't take the advice from Joan down the road and Gina's book or whatever else and feel like that's Bible.
Yeah.
You need to figure out a way, take bits of that and make your own way.
Thanks so much for watching Bump. If you want to watch the playlist, then click here. And if you want to watch last week's episode, then click here.